Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and we're going to take a look at a beautiful Broadway Limited brass hybrid right here on Model Railroading the Southwest. Don't forget to get $10 off your next order of $50 or more on trains.com. That's trains with a Z. So this locomotive has been on my radar for quite some time. First time I saw it, I thought, man, this locomotive is dog ugly. A lot of you might agree with me. A lot of you are going to say, what are you thinking? That is a beautiful locomotive. And that is exactly what I think right now. This locomotive is none other than the Santa Fe Blue Goose, and it is from Broadway Limited. This one has Paragon sound, and it sounds absolutely amazing, and the details are on point. So, like I said, it's been on my radar for quite some time. I saw it at a couple of train shows about a year ago or so, and then I saw it earlier at the Rocky Mountain Train Show, and man, it really grew on me. Recently, I saw it again on somebody's layout, and I thought, man, I have to have that locomotive. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is. Seeing it in person, holding it in my hand, and just looking at it, I thought, man, why didn't I buy this sooner? So let's go ahead and take it a layout and check it out. So here's the box that the locomotive comes in. You saw it briefly earlier. It does say brass hybrid on it, which it is. On this end is the part number and the description of the model. So this one is the 1951 to 53 appearance. So the colors on this are slightly different than the others. So this is typical of the modern packaging from Broadway Limited. If you go ahead and slide this open, that's how you find it right there. To access the model, I usually put it upside down and slide the inner clamshell out. So over here is the smoke fluid funnel, so you can add it through the smokestack. You don't make a big mess. Down at the bottom of the box, you'll find this small sleeve with some literature in it, and there is the operator's manual. There's one more in there, which is the pamphlet to show you how to change it to the pro mode for the lighting. One thing I like to mention in the videos is this is very important. I've heard a lot of horror stories where people place their locomotive on the track where there is already track power, and you can actually short it out and damage a decoder or damage some lights or something like that. So please listen to that. So you just slide this out just like this, which is very easy to do. Then inside you'll find that in here is a tool to remove the side rods to replace the traction tires. And over here is a extra detail part. So you just pop this up just like this, and then you remove that, and there it is. Absolutely stunning locomotive. Let's get this out and check it out. So this locomotive is from trainworld.com. They actually have some really excellent deals on these Blue Gooses right now. They've reduced the prices from what they originally were because they were really expensive when they first came out. They're in the specials department. If you go into their website and go into the specials, you'll find them there, and a bunch of other great deals on some other locomotives. So if you really want this Blue Goose, go to Train World and you can find it right there. So here we have the locomotive sitting right in front of us, and let me tell you, this locomotive is absolutely stunning. We'll start off at the top of the locomotive. Right here is an area where there is some holes in there. Looks kind of like a grill. Inside of there is where the bell would be. I can't quite see inside of there to see if the bell is there or not, but that's where it should be prototypically. On either side there are two marker lights which have jewels in them to simulate them being lit. These are not lit with LEDs. On the front of the boiler you'll find that there is a headlight there, a single headlight, which is very bright. You can see the retaining ring around where the lens would be, and there is some bolt detail as well. Right below the headlight you can see the Santa Fe Herald there, which looks nicely done. To the side of the Herald there is a small grill, some grill detail just right there. Down here you'll see that there is coupler cut bar detail. Right at the front of the pilot you can see that there would be the area where it would open up to allow there to be the front coupler. That does not open up. On some Broadway Limited locomotives, yes, you can open that up and pull the dummy coupler out, but this one does not have that. On either side of the pilot, you can see that there are two steps there where the crew can climb up on top of the front of the locomotive. There is some grab iron detail here as well, along with the grab iron that comes up there and goes along the side of the locomotive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side. At this angle, we can see the conductor side of the locomotive. We'll go ahead and start at the top with the smokestack. On the prototype, the smokestack does go up and down. The linkage is simulated on either side of the smokestack. This one is static, it does not operate. And this smokestack does not come off, so it's not interchangeable, so whatever's on the model is what you got. Over here are the two number boards, one facing the front and one facing the side. Both are lit, and they look quite nice at night. The numbers are very crisp. Down here you can see the builder's plate is actually just painted onto the side of the model. Can't quite see it too well under magnification. It is legible. On the side over here, there is a real piece of chain there that does move. There is some pipe detail all along the side here, along with grab irons spanning the side of the model, and small grab irons here and a few other places. As you can see, this silver area on the side of the locomotive is what looks like to be stainless steel on prototype pictures that I've seen, and it is simulated quite nice on this model. On the bottom you can see the cylinder detail along with the side rod detail and the reverser. On this wheel is where you would use the tool to remove that screw there so that you can replace the traction tire. Near the wheels you can see the brake detail here, there, and over here. You can see that there are two different types of wheels on this locomotive. You can see that the faces are a little bit different. The one in the middle is different from the ones on the front and the back. This wheel is equipped with the traction tire there, and so is the other side on that side. As we stay on the conductor side, I want to mention all the detail you can find near the cab and underneath where the ash pan is. At the top you can see that there's a separately applied grille where the dynamos would be. You got to keep in mind that this locomotive is a streamlined locomotive, so they tried to conceal all of the parts as much as possible to make it more pleasing to the eye. Down underneath you can see that the trailing truck is very well detailed. There is cylinders for the brakes. Also the bearing journal covers are well detailed with rivets. Right above the cab window you can see that there is a sunshade there along with the mirror, and down right here on this part of the window there is a simulated armrest. All the pipe detail just looks absolutely fantastic on the side of this locomotive. You can see all of it there. Moving along towards the tender, we can see all of the magnificent detail on the tender. All of the rivet detail on the sides of the tender look fantastic. Underneath, the details on the trucks are absolutely amazing. You can see the leaf springs down there, and also all of the detail on the side of the trucks, including the brakes. Down here is a small compartment that actually has hinges on it and a simulated door handle for that. On the back of the tender you can see that there is a rear light, and also there are some grab irons here and there, and a ladder that spans across the back from the top to the bottom. Down underneath there is a steam pipe detail you can see right there, and also the brake detail there as well. I don't see any coupler cut bar detail on this end of the model. As we take a look at this side of the tender, I want to mention that the letters that spell Santa Fe are extremely crisp, along with the road number on the rear of the tender there. You can find the same amount of detail on the trucks as you did on the other side on this side as well. We'll take a look at the top of the tender a little bit later, but the detail on the top of the tender is absolutely amazing. The attention that Broadway Limited gave to the cab is actually just jaw-dropping. There is a ton of separately applied detail in there, along with the fire door that you can see down in there. That is a gray piece that's sitting in the middle of the cab. Inside there is painted valves, also some gauges, and pipe detail. On either side of the cab there is crew figures that were installed, along with some seating for them to sit on. So it's not like they're just sitting on some piece of plastic. You can actually see the detail that was put into the seats to show that they can actually, kind of like recline and move. Down here you can see that there's the drawbar that connects the tender to the locomotive. Here's the drop step, and it does come up and down. Down underneath you can see the connections between the tender and the locomotive. Down here you can see that there is a tank there, along with detail on the back of the tender. One thing that I failed to mention while I was showing you the back of the cab, right above there is a light there which is lit with an LED light, so that is meant to shine the top of the tender and out the back of the locomotive. Every time I open up a Broadway Limited locomotive, I'm always impressed by the amount of detail that was put into the locomotive. Now, primarily, all of my locomotives that I have are painted in black, so it's difficult to see all of those details, but nonetheless, they look amazing. This locomotive in particular is painted in blue, so you can see every pipe, every detail, every rivet, and every bolt. It is absolutely stunning. As you can see, all of this side rod detail in this plating just looks absolutely gorgeous on the side of this locomotive. At the top you can see there is the whistle along with the pipe detail for the whistle. There is the other number board, and over here is another piece of rail chain that does move. Here's the other builder's plate, and here is this. It seems to be a separately applied detail, and it does have all of that like screen or this slotted detail on the side. As we take one final look at the front of the locomotive, I did want to talk a little bit more about the marker lights. Now, those marker lights do have jewels in them that are shaped into a prism, which allows light in and then it's reflected right back out. And it does a good job at simulating lights. Now, it would have been nice if Broadway Limited did add LEDs to those marker lights, although the prisms do a good job. As you can see the whistle there, you can see a little bit of a different angle than you did earlier. It's a nicely done whistle. On the front of the cylinders, you can see that they are painted in that same silver to simulate the stainless steel. As you can see, the pilot looks very nice on this angle. You can see all of the rivet details that were put in here. Just a phenomenal job that Broadway Limited did on this model. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top. Here we can see the top of the locomotive. We'll start off with the smokestack. If you want to use the smoke feature, all you got to do is drop 3 to 4 drops directly down into the smokestack and you're good. Don't overfill it. You can see the linkage that is used to raise and lower the smokestack. Over here is a recessed area. You can't see it from the side of the locomotive, but there are some blow-off valves there. There are some roof vents that are located here over the cab. Those do not move, they are static. On the top you can see a bunch of door openings to fill it with oil and also some water. There are some other compartments there as well. Here is the light that I was talking about earlier at the top of the cab, and here is the rear light. Let's go ahead and take it a look. Let's go take this to the layout and see how it sounds.
when you train. We're all fixed up here, anybody needs help on it. Okay, it all depends on whether or not I can get the switch lined up to fall back to your train when the signal comes to you steady. Right. We're going to have you do a little work in the yard.
So what do you guys think of the Broadway Limited Blue Goose? Do you think it's an amazing looking locomotive, or is it dog ugly? Well, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and Broadway Limited did an amazing job with this locomotive. The paint is absolutely flawless. I love the color of that blue. It looks great. The details are absolutely amazing, and the sound, it is great. I love that whistle. Absolutely beautiful whistle. If you think so too, put it down below. If you really like this locomotive, tell me about it. If you don't, tell me about it too. I want to hear it too, because I've been on both sides. I hated this locomotive. Now it is beautiful, and it is going right into my collection. So that's pretty much it, guys. I have a ton of content coming. Busy for the summer. Everybody else is too. So once the weather starts to come down some and starts to get cool and fall comes around the corner, well, we're going to get back to it, and I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on. So that's pretty much it, guys. Talk later. Take care and keep it between the rails.